Diversity is a hot topic among political leaders and candidates, not to mention many leaders in and among corporations. Here are 5 truths that, when understood and implemented, allow you to dramatically increase productivity while also meeting other goals related to creating a diverse workforce. These truths come from years of executive coaching, HR experience, and organizational excellence consulting with companies you've heard of. Let's get into it. The first truth is, hiring is the most important decision you will make. A bad hire steals energy from productivity and can create a host of problems. I'll bet you have experienced a bad hire in your career. Share that in the comments. What does a bad hire have to do with diversity? We tend to hire people like us. Mini-me's. That tendency can result in a hire that doesn't bring more to the table than what you already bring. That's the main reason we have a thing called affirmative action, a type of diversity. Affirmative action encourages us to hire people who aren't like you and give minorities a chance. But if you hire first to meet an affirmative action goal at the expense of competence, you may have a problem that can take years to fix. Later in this video, I'll make a case for affirmative action as it's needed, but the way you weave it into hiring decisions will create the win-win that most of us seek. Because, to repeat, hiring is the most important decision a leader will make, and diversity, especially affirmative action, can mess up that decision. And that brings us to truth number 2, something we've already mentioned, and that's truth number 2. You can never compromise competence. Pouring out of a conference room one day at Microsoft was the most ethnic, age, and religious diversity I had ever seen in a team. Yes, factions that were at war with each other in the world were on the same team here, and it was working. I asked who the team was and later studied them. It was a product team focused on an international market, hence their choices about regional, religious, and ethnic diversity. But they first sought the most competent people they could find, and then focused on the differences that would make the team complete. I interviewed a Jew on the team and asked him if there was tension with the Muslim team members. He laughed and said, "We're all people who are really good at what we do." When you get to know someone, hate melts and you get a lot more done. So no tension at all. Again, this team focused first on getting the most competent people, then creating the kind of diversity that would serve the team's goals. And by all measures, that approach worked extremely well. That brings us to the next truth. Truth number 3. Diversity means different, and affirmative action is a subset. Too many leaders confuse affirmative action with diversity. I was brought in to help a team with their decision quality. I was surprised to see that it was an all-women team, all young except for the leader, and even weirder was the fact that they dressed almost the same. What came next shocked me even more. We're probably the most diverse team you've ever seen. It felt awkward to explain that yes, an all-women team is unique but not diverse in the sense of melding differences to create the best solution. I explained how the larger view of diversity, not just affirmative action, was the key to decision quality, and that teams create great decisions when you have differences in background, age, expertise, and yes, Gender. This team fired me, not what they wanted to hear, but I let the CEO know that he had a problem. The team eventually embraced a broadened view of diversity with additions of different areas of expertise, gender, and age. And yes, their decision quality improved dramatically. Truth number 4. The best diversity training focuses on mitigating narratives that work against productivity. When we come to understand our initial reactions to people that get in the way of productivity, we're in a position to mitigate that narrative and unleash productivity. In one training, I shared profile pictures of potential team members and had them react anonymously to the extent to which they would want to work with them. I was surprised to see that a person's weight, not ethnicity, created the most backlash, followed by their religion. So, if you were the fat evangelical, no one wanted to work with you. The group admitted that their gut reaction got in the way and how they might adjust to unleash productivity. I followed up with this group and most admitted that age and expertise in the company were the biggest barriers they noticed. When they were aware that they had a reaction to the old engineer, they were in a better position to get to know them and give them a chance to contribute. And usually, that worked out better than acting out of unchecked biases. Yes, sometimes our biases are based in ethnicity, but often when we become more aware, we have biases in age, geography, and so many other factors that can be overcome with a little awareness. What narratives do we have, and what can we do to mitigate them to get more done? That brings us to the final truth about diversity, and that is truth number 5. To get the most from a team or organization, pay attention to decision quality and how diversity affects it. Decision processes are the most important processes in an organization, and diversity plays a big role in creating the best outcomes. When your team makes bad decisions, sometimes it's a diversity problem. Let's say that you notice a decision quality problem because you didn't have the right people in the room. Why not? Who wants to slow things down with that boring engineering team when your marketing folks are so nimble? Or who wants to hear legal drone on about regulations when you want to reach a decision and get on with your day? That's a diversity problem that is affecting your decision quality. Or let's assume you had the right people in the room but didn't make the best use of discussion processes or facilitation to reach the best agreement. That's common and may also be a diversity problem. When airtime bullies are allowed to dominate over smart but unassertive introverts, you miss out on the best decisions. Often men get away with aggressive behavior that women get stigmatized for. That's a narrative, a diversity problem that can be overcome with honest dialogue, awareness, and intentional adjustment. I've seen teams where the airtime bullies get feedback adjust, and the less assertive members become more assertive because everyone wants the best decisions to come out of their team. That's where an awareness of all kinds of diversity moves you towards greater productivity. And that's the point of true diversity. Get stuff done better. Thanks for joining us today at Organizational Excellence.